words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I'm your host, Verdel Jones, and being an educator at heart, I'm dedicated to sharing conversations that inform and enlighten in the hopes that you learn something you may not have known. And remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when you get, give. Nope, I think I said my quote wrong. When you when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. We have an awesome show for you today. I am so excited about our guest, and as you can see, we have a cup here, so he will be here momentarily. But before we do that, I want to tell you a couple of things that's going on. Deli Teach is doing a lot of different things, and as you know, that Deli Teach is my company, and we have a lot of things going on, and I want to share a few things with you, some upcoming events. But the first thing I want to mention to you is we're always looking for sponsors for the show. So if you would like to sponsor Conversations with Verdel Jones, you can check out the contact information for the show. If we can put that, there we go. You see my contact information is there. Cassandra's contact information is also there. And you can, reach out to us and keep this show going. We need some cash flow to keep it going. So if you guys are interested in sponsoring the show, please check that out and help us along so we can continue to provide this useful information that we do twice a month. So that's one thing I always want to make sure that I mention. The other thing I want to mention is we have an event coming up called the Write, Rhyme, and Recite Collective. We are celebrating young poets and highlighting authors. So there's still time for students, and I'm going to show that in a second, there's still time for students to actually apply for the Poetry Slam contest that we're going to do. But this is information about the event. It's going to be Sunday, June 10th at the Toro Law College in Central Islip. And we still have a few spots for authors if they would like to participate. You guys know how to contact me. My phone number is right there, so you can always reach me for information about that. And you can also check out my website, which is deliteach.com, so you can check that out as well. We also, I mentioned that there's still time for students to enter the Poetry Slam Scholarship. The application deadline is April 15th. So information and a link to actually the application is there. So what's going to happen is students will submit their applications. We're going to pick the top 3 students. The top 3 students that are selected will be invited to compete for first, second, and third place at the Write, Rhyme, and Recite Collective on June 10th. Top prize, or top scholarship, I should say, is going to be $1,500. So we want to make sure that students apply for this. You have to be a senior, graduating, and going to college in the fall. So there's information there. There's a link there. So make sure if you know any students that meet that criteria, they have a passion for spoken word, have them apply. They're going to upload a video of them reciting their poem, and then we'll make our selections top 3. So please check that out as well. So tickets for the Write, Rhyme, and Recite Collective will be going up shortly, and you can also, check that on my Facebook page, Conversations with Verdel Jones, Deli Teach Facebook page, and my personal page on Facebook, Verdel Jones. So you can check that out. So one other thing that I did want to mention is on, I think April 26th is our next show. It's the 2 Thursdays from now. So what we're going to do is Jeremiah is going to be joining me. I love when Jeremiah joins me in studio. So he's going to be joining me. And we were talking a lot about, where we grew up. I know some of you might know that Jeremiah and I are high school sweethearts. So we talk a lot about our high school experience because we both went to high school together. And one of the things that we kind of, we talk about with our friends, because we're still close with a lot of people from Central Islip High School, CI Pride. And one of the things that we were talking about was the things that the people we went to school with, all of the things that they're involved in and all of the things that they're doing. And we wanted to kind of highlight that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that the next time we have our show, which I believe is April 26th. We're going to talk about, some of the things that are going on, and we're going to create a segment a lot of the things that I do or I like to do center around community. And growing up in Central Islip, we had a strong community. And out of that community came a lot of great things. And I want to, and we want to highlight some of those great things that came out of Central Islip. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to be speaking with you guys and asking you, what are people doing that we graduated with or that we went to school with or, graduated from Central Islip High School in general. So we're excited about that. We were talking about that on the way here to the studio, but we decided we were going to start doing that because I think it's important for kids to know where they come from or where they are and the people that came out of the community that they're currently in, that they can do great things. So we're so looking forward to that. I mean, I'm going to save it because, we have a lot of people that are doing some great things. So I'm really excited about that. Love CI. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a short break because we have an awesome guest in studio today, and I'm very excited that we have him in studio. So we'll take a quick break. We're going to watch The Parent Agent. I wrote a book. You guys got to pick up The Parent Agent, how to represent your child and get them into the college of their choice. So check this out, and when I come back, Bobby Dog is going to be in studio with me.
How do I get my child into the best college? Why is early planning imperative in the college process? In her new book, The Parent Agent, Verdel Jones answers these questions and more. What does it mean to be a parent agent? As a parent agent, you represent your child to help them get into the college of their choice. Strategies learned in this book will help you create opportunities for your child that will develop them into successful individuals. Verdel Jones is an experienced educator with over 20 years' experience. She has personally visited hundreds of college campuses and holds extensive knowledge about the higher education selection process and has helped hundreds of students. She has also successfully been a parent agent for her own children. In her new book, The Parent Agent, you will be given concrete information on how to visit colleges, learn why knowing your child is critical in finding the right college, understand why starting early can make all the difference in keeping your child on track for higher education, gain an understanding of the financial aid process, and discover steps needed to financially plan for college expenses. You will also receive useful resources and checklists to keep you organized and focused. All of this information and more is contained in Verdel Jones's new book, The Parent Agent. So let this book be your guide through the college process to get to the end goal, your child enrolling into the college of their choice. To get your copy of The Parent Agent, go to deliteach.com and order your book today.
For TA. Hey, welcome back. As you can see, I have my guest, Mr. Robert Bobby Dog Fortier.
How are you, Verdel?
I'm good. Thank you for coming.
I'm excited to be here. I love it. Thanks for having me on the show.
I'm so excited. We've been trying to get Bobby to the show for a while. So let me just tell you a little bit about him, and then we're going to dive right into our conversation because we have a lot to talk about. So Bobby has received recognition over the years for the work he does in our community. Not only is he a retired New York City police officer, but he's an author, he's a speaker, and he's an educator as well. He's been featured as a Newsday Everyday Hero. He was inducted into the Kings Park High School Hall of Fame. He was inducted into the New York State United States Specialty Sports Association Softball Hall of Fame. And he also received the Volvo for Life Hero Award. You have so many accolades, and you do so many things within the community. We met through a mutual friend, Archie Snowden.
Archie Snowden, he's the man.
Everybody loves Archie. No one has anything bad to say about Archie. And I'm so excited and pleased and just fortunate that he did introduce us.
That introduction means a lot to me as well.
Yeah,
I agree.
So thank you. So let's just get right into it. I want to ask you a couple of things about you being a New York City police officer.
Okay.
How long were you on the police force?
I was on the force for about 10 years.
Okay.
My path to being a police, you know how every kid dreams about being a baseball player.
Right, okay.
So I wanted to be a baseball player. Of course, that didn't work out. I had the heart for a major leaguer, but
right.
not all the talent. But, then from there, there was a few things I wanted to do. I was looking into being a major league baseball umpire.
Okay.
I applied for their school. I think it was the Harry Wendelstadt School of Umpires down in Florida. And so I applied for that, and at the same time I was taking police tests, actually up and down the Northeast and even down
really?
into Florida.
Okay.
I started taking tests here and there. And actually the Wendelstadt School of Umpiring called me and said, you know, we want you to come.
Really?
So I was excited. My dad had actually found this school and said, this is what you could do.
Right,
And I was like, I'm in. So they called for me to go, and on the very same day, I found out that the NYPD was going to take me in the next class.
So you had to make that choice.
That choice was a pretty easy choice.
Yeah.
Being a police officer is something I also always wanted to do, but you know, you never know if you're going to get there or not.
Right, exactly.
But, you know,
exactly.
helping people and doing all the right things in the world, it's a beautiful job to have if you could do it. You know?
Right. So are there police officers in your family, or is that just something that you wanted?
I have some police officers in my family, relative-wise. Matter of fact, they did, you know, get me excited about being a police officer because you look up to. It happened to be my uncle. My uncle Jimmy was a police officer, and you know, we would just look at him like what a hero he is. You know.
Right. Yeah.
And I was always excited with the idea of it. I mean, I have a son now who's 8. He's excited about that idea.
Oh, is that right?
Well.
Wow.
Loves baseball, loves sports, loves being a police. You know, the thought of being a police officer.
Yeah.
And of course, my wife is like, "Please don't
I
do
know.
that."
Yeah, because like
danger.
Right, exactly. I was just about to say that, like, you know, it takes a special person to be a police officer, to be a firefighter, because I'm running away from danger. I'm not running anywhere near danger. And, you know, when you're a police officer, when you're a firefighter, you're running toward the danger.
Yeah,
so it really takes.
Firefighters have some job
yeah,
too.
they really
my
do.
gosh.
They really do. You know, so what was that like, being on the force and having to be in, you know, those potentially, you know, dangerous situations?
Oh, well, when you are a police officer and firefighter, of course, you're going to find yourself in harm's way.
Right.
You know, firefighters with fighting fires and other, you know, crazy things that go on. But,
Yeah.
you know, police officers could be numerous things
Yeah.
from, you know, vehicle accidents. You see, you know, recently you've seen quite a few things on the news about, you know, police getting hit by a car while they're making a car stop.
Right, yeah.
You know, you don't think about that,
No,
but
you don't.
that is just
That's
as,
true.
you know, as dangerous as doing anything else on that job. It can be a crazy job.
Yeah, it really, really can.
It takes a certain, you know what I feel anyway, it takes a certain person to like dive into that and love that job, you know? Not
Absolutely.
anybody, not just anybody could do it.
Absolutely not.
But
Yeah,
it
because
takes a real, I believe, a real go-getter, like you really want
Yeah.
to. And all the police officers I've met in my life, I mean, they all really get on this job to help people. That's really
Right,
what they want
yeah.
to do. That's what they want their career to be. I want to wake up every day and make a difference.
Right.
So, and all the officers I know and the officers I've worked with over the years, they're exactly that.
Right.
I want to help.
Wanna make
I
a
want to help.
difference
And
and
those are
help.
the guys you'll see, you know, that aren't even working. If something happens, they're going to run
They
right to it.
run right in. Yeah, they'll
And
run right to it.
that's-
What was your favorite part about being a police officer, and where were you in New York City?
Well, I was pretty lucky. I ended up in Manhattan,
Okay.
on the west side, Lower
Okay.
West Side, and that was my beginning of the job. But then I got to a very good detail. But before I get to the detail, that job, being on the Lower West Side, we were offered a million different things. Every day was a different day, you know, and I think that's the fun part about it.
Right.
You know, I'm not sitting at a desk all day. I'm actually on the street meeting people every day,
Right,
you know,
right.
and you know, some you can help and
What
some
area?
you have to do other things with.
What's the name of that area that's there?
That's Chelsea.
It's Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
Okay, in Chelsea.
And,
okay.
you know, we borderline a couple, but
Like meat packing is
yeah,
over
meat
there,
packing
right?
was over
Okay.
there, and all the clubs back in the day.
Yes.
I've been around a while, so back in the day, all the clubs were over
I know
there.
exactly what you're talking about.
And
Okay.
it was kind of crazy on that west side. But
That's
I mean, I
right.
did have my fun, and I did. You know, there was a lot of good moments. There's some bad moments too. You know, I think
Yeah.
if you talk about like the favorite part, obviously is always when you do something good, you help somebody, maybe
Yeah.
save a life, or just
Right.
maybe save a person from, you know, getting into any kind of problems. And then probably the worst for me anyway is when you're late, you're not there, and then when you get there, you see the aftermath of what I wish I could have done something
Yeah.
to change what just took place.
Right.
Especially when it's surrounding, you know, the worst part, of course, is death.
Yeah.
You know, and then if death of a young child is like,
Right. that has to be.
yeah, it gets
yeah,
you. You're like,
right.
oh, breaks
yeah,
my heart.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, there's so many. situations that you never know what like you said, from day to day, you never know what you're going to get into.
each day's a
you
new
know,
day.
each day is a new day, which makes it exciting, but a little nerve-wracking at the same time for me.
Got to be ready for anything, right?
That's right. That's right.
I tell you, I love the job, though. I did love it, and I love the guys I worked with, and I do miss those guys. But you know what?
Right.
We are a family, and I've stayed in touch
Is
with
that
so
right?
many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
They keep tabs on me, as they say. See
right,
what I'm doing?
right. So you were on the police force. You retired from the police force, and then you had to make a decision about what you wanted to do.
Well, you know, the funny part about before I got retired and I was on the job, let's dive into a little bit of Team Dog. I mean, it was always on my mind
Okay.
to create this whole dog world, and that stems from when I was young, very young. I got I got called the nickname, which wasn't at the time. It really wasn't meant to be flattering, you know. It was meant because they thought I was a bit of a show-off. So, and that nickname, and this is when I do my school programs and I talk to the students in school. This is really what I'm going to tell you is pretty much part of that program, because I love when I talk to the kids and I tell them, so I was being made fun of, you know, and they're listening, and before I tell them what they were calling me and I was being made fun of, I always ask them, so if someone was to make fun of you, how would that make you feel? And I'll tell you what, the students all put their hands up. They all want to share what they think.
Of course,
and that's my favorite part of going into the schools, is that it's just a conversation, a Verdel conversation. It's just a conversation with the kids and to think about better character.
Right.
And how to handle certain things. You know, so I tell them that I was being made fun of, and then when I tell them the name, they always get a chuckle at the name, you know, because they call this person, it could be, it could be mostly sports related, but it could be anything. If you're a bit of a show-off and they think you're not like a team player, and you think you're better than everybody else, they call that person a hot dog.
Right.
So you've heard that, right, in sports terms. Hey, he's a hot dog, this one's a hot dog. And it's not endearing, you know, it's not like, oh, yeah, but I kind of made it that.
You embraced it.
What happened was my family didn't like that people were calling me hot dog. So my older sister Roberta actually brought it to my attention one time at the dinner table, and this kid's calling you a hot dog, and I was like, and it's what I tell with the students. I said, so my family wasn't happy. My family was actually upset, embarrassed, and you know what? When they told me that, I'm a little embarrassed, and I was a little upset. My whole family's upset, all because they're calling me a hot dog. But my first name was Bobby, so they would call me Bobby Hot Dog.
Bobby Hot Dog.
And that was what they called me on the ball field, and then it got to be no matter what I was doing.
Right, that was your name.
That was my nickname. So I actually told my family, you know what? They just don't know me.
Right.
I'm not trying to be better than anybody else. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I'm certainly a team player. I come from a large family. I got 4 brothers, 3 sisters. We know how to work together. I knew how to work together before I even got out of my house and went to school.
Right.
So being a team player, I feel I'm good with. So you know what? I don't care. And this is where the fun part for me comes with the students, is because then I get to go. So my family started calling me Bobby Hot Dog. And then all the kids in school, my friends in school, because everyone was calling me that, what do you think they called me? And then the students would go, Bobby Hot Dog.
Right, exactly.
So then I get to say, I went all through high school, even the teachers called me Bobby Hot Dog.
Really?
Yeah. And then I graduated high school, and I went on to become a New York City police officer. And so did many of my friends. And being on what's the largest team that I've ever been a part of, and I'm very proud to be a part of that team. My friends started calling me Officer Bobby Hot Dog. So they called me that. And it was meeting kids along the street.
Right.
Especially on the schools, like they'd be playing in the playground and we'd come down and they would call me Hot Dog.
That's so
hot Dog
funny.
this, Hot Dog that. And the kids started calling me Officer Dog. And it was like, you know what? I would like to create an officer dog that would take after my personality, and kind of make it after my family. All my brothers and sisters are in my little world of Team Dog. Yeah. But the first dog character was actually Bobby Dog,
was you.
who was a police dog in the town of Paulstown, who loved sports, specifically baseball, wanted to be a Major League Baseball player, and it started the creativity for me to create these characters. And my first design was actually in T-shirts.
Right.
I designed Bobby Dog, the police dog. In front of a police car, and I sold T-shirts.
Wow.
Then I made a baseball player.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So that's how you kind of started. You didn't just jump into the books.
It was growing, and as I got retired from the job, I was focused on. I never knew I was going to do children's books. That never came to my mind.
Right,
what I always thought was, I see an animated cartoon series based on my life and my family.
Okay.
And then we could add all the people around it, and that's going back 30 plus years ago. thinking that that could happen. So with that in mind, I made T-shirt designs, and the funny part is my first book that we wrote it's all about respect, right? So when I have the students and we talk about why would you write a book about respect? And I said, well, it was an easy one to write because my mom and dad were very, they made sure that everyone in our family had that respect for each other. We still would fight amongst each other, and we could still make mistakes. But my mom and dad, they made us, here's a word, they made us accountable for what we did.
For what you did,
you know, and there was consequences. If you did something wrong, you were punished. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, you first of all, you own up to what you did, and you fix it. And then you apologize if it's something wrong, and you fix it. And then I think that's what we're missing, you know, like that that straight-laced, this is the way it should be.
Accountability. I think that word is perfect because it's, you know, holding people accountable for their actions. And I think you're right. I think, you know, people have kind of gone away from that. You know, you have to be accountable for your, you know, and like you said, own up to it. So it's a positive message that you definitely, of course, you're sharing with the students around that.
You know, I love sharing it with the students. And, you know, a lot of people that I meet along the way, I've been doing it for a long time. The people I meet along the way, some people actually say to me, yeah, the kids today, they have no respect. And I'm like, look at us and find out why. Because we're the adults, right? We're the ones teaching them. So what they say, only mimicking what they see.
That's absolutely
so whether it's at home, it may not be at home. You know, the first time you send your little one off to preschool, within a few weeks, you're like, where did you learn that word?
Is that my kid? No, but it really does, you know, it does start at home. You know, it really, really does. And I think, like you said, people say, oh, these kids today. You know, look at yourself. Sometimes I say, man, I think we failed as...
sometimes you know, I look at that and go, man, that is just not right.
Right. It's like,
we're
what
not
did we
perfect,
do?
right? I mean, I've made some mistakes. I would say something, and I'd say, oh, my God. My mom used to always say, you know, little ears. And I try to remind myself that, but I've made that mistake.
It's just, it's very... you know, and the world is, you know, is different also, you know, with social media and things like that. And we'll talk a little bit about bullying because, you know, I know that's a big thing that, you know, always comes up, especially nowadays with the cyberbullying and all of that. I know it's, you know.
Speaking of cyberbullying and, you know, the whole social media issue, I was talking to someone, I forget who I was talking to, but they would tell me about a college that focuses on being a good digital citizen.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to remember what.
It was like an ethics maybe kind of a thing?
I was like, I love that because that is so true because I'm focused on being a good citizen. You know, when I talk to the students, really what I want them to know is, you know, about what's an everyday hero. That's what we talk about. Who is an everyday hero? How about some everyday heroes in your life? And they will tell you, mom, dad, brother, sister, dog, teachers, you know, and we go around everyone until I can bring it back to the students that are sitting in front of me and have them realize they too can be an everyday hero just by helping somebody when they need it. You know, and that's what we talk about with bullying is, you know, I talk about Team Dog is everyday heroes, right? We talk about superheroes when we talk to the students because superheroes have superpowers.
Right.
They can save the community. They use their superpowers. So I always tell the kids, you know, we don't have superpowers as humans and as my cartoon dogs. We do actually have a superpower. At the end of it, I tell them, we do have a superpower. It's your heart. You have the power to make a difference in other people's lives. That is a superpower if you use it right.
If you use it for good.
For students, you know, and I'm in an elementary level, you know, program. So for students in elementary, you know, they get it. They understand what I'm talking about.
Right,
and then
exactly.
The whole thing is communication, right? Especially with the bullying. If we have to communicate. I think that's one, you know, one of the big issues that come back to haunt all of us is somebody never told anybody they were being, you know, hassled.
Right.
It's not always bullying, but most, you know, if they're being bullied, and they don't want to talk to anybody.
No,
so
they're afraid. They're afraid. I mean, you know, you hear a lot from students that the bullying is going to get worse. Nothing's going to be done about it. You know.
Right. They're afraid to tell because the bullying.
That's right.
If the bully finds out,
then
it's going to get worse.
They're going to have a serious situation. We have a couple of pictures with you with some students.
Oh,
yes. They're great. They look like they're having a good time, too.
You know what? It's really an interactive discussion.
Right,
I don't talk to them. I mean, I don't talk at them. I speak with them. And I ask them what they think on every aspect of my life. When I talk about being made fun of, when I talk about having a big family, when I talk about loving sports, when I talk about loving cartoons.
Right.
I stop and ask them, Do you like cartoons? What's your favorite cartoons? And they all want to share their favorite
Right, yeah.
cartoons. You know, what's your
They
favorite
like to
sport?
share.
They all want to share
Right.
their favorite sport. To me, once we get on that level where we're talking to each other, this is where they open up
Right.
and freely talk about what's really on their mind.
Right,
And
which
you
is
know,
awesome.
at the end of the day, what I hope to accomplish is to inspire them to care for others. Really is the bottom
Right,
line. And
right.
so I call it respect. You give it, you get it. That's kind of my mantra. That's people know me. That know me for a long time. Know me. That's what I'm all about. Being
All about that.
respectful.
Right, exactly.
That's
It's
it. And I
important.
try it. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, but I
course,
try
right.
my hardest to be respectful. You know, even from the silliest thing when you look and you're like, I don't understand what this guy's doing or this person is doing to me. Okay. You know, take a
Right.
breath.
Take,
Take a
right.
breath.
Exactly. There's always something for something. You know, there's a what is it? For every action, there's a reaction. So
Yes.
you never, you really never know. One of the things I wanted to show people too was this is Schwarting
Was
Elementary
fantastic.
School.
Their students were absolutely the most well-mannered students I've seen in a long time.
This
It was
is
awesome.
this is the district that I work with, that I work at, Plain Edge, and one thing I will say about our students at Plain Edge, from elementary all the way to up to high school, that they're some of the most polite children I have ever seen in
I
my
can vouch
life.
for that. I can vouch for that. They were.
They are just unbelievable. I'm housed in, my office is in the high school.
Wow.
And the students, they come in, how you doing? Thank you very much. Have a great day. Are you busy? They are I have really never worked with students as polite as
I
these
love
kids.
well-mannered kids.
They are
Whether they're
so
students
well-mannered.
or wherever they are, Coaching, sports teams, same
They're
thing.
awesome.
Well-mannered,
Right.
polite,
Yeah.
respectable, and you're going to get a lot further in life when you do
Absolutely,
all that.
and they
Schwarting was
really are.
awesome. I
Yeah.
can vouch for
Good.
Schwarting. I believe that was a hookup from you as well. Thank you. It pays to know Verdel, I'm telling you right now.
It's just, and I don't know what it is about that particular, those students, but it's a very close-knit community.
What I saw,
Yeah.
what I felt was the teachers
Yeah.
was so involved.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
they actually
are.
took
They
in
are.
my presentation. Afterwards, they commented and they told me what they thought and how they
Right.
liked this or like that. And they were, I called them hands-on. They were hands-on. They did not
Yeah.
just sit down and wait for this to be over because I can see that.
Right.
You have assemblies and sometimes assemblies may not
Yes, exactly.
interest you. Let's
That's
put it
right.
that way.
That's right. Yeah.
But I really thought that Schwarting was amazing, and I
Good.
felt, and I have a partner because his name is Coach Ed in
Okay.
the Team Dog world. He's one of my best friends. His kid was skating with my kid, Caitlin, who is now 25.
Okay.
And they were skating at 5 years old, so that's how long ago
Wow,
we met. And
right.
he tells this story in the schools, which I love. He goes, we were at the skating rink. The kids were skating. So by the second, third week, I noticed Bobby was wearing a
okay.
Team Dog shirt. And, I kept wanting to ask her, but I didn't really have the nerve. So he tells him, I have what I'd like to call the nerve or finally the common sense to
Right,
go
just ask.
say hello.
Right,
So
yeah.
I asked him what that was. We got to become good friends, and
Wow.
we've been best friends since.
Ever since. Wow. Oh,
He's
that's
a great
nice.
guy. He's the co-author of our book.
Right,
so
yeah.
Without him, none of this could happen.
Speaking of the books, we have a couple. We have a screenshot of the books. I just absolutely love the illustrations and the stories in these books. They are
Thank you.
great. They are so. I mean, they're just so well done. What made you want to write a book, or these books? How did that kind of come about?
I'll tell you, it came about that we started getting involved with schools, but it was on an internet type setup where kids would go online and go on our message board.
Okay.
So they
okay.
were connecting, and that was middle school, and they were connecting with the characters, and these were not the characters at the time.
Right.
It
I
was a
remember
fire
you showing
dog,
me them,
a construction dog,
Right.
anything that, a computer dog, and they were all these big animal beefed up dogs.
Right.
Because back in the day, it was like working out was the coolest
Yeah.
thing.
They
Being
were like
big
muscle
and animal.
dogs,
Yeah,
right?
muscle dogs. So, but when I made my first children's book, that was a learning process too.
Right.
We used our big animal dogs.
Yeah.
And after the first
Right.
6 months, most educators were saying, "Bob, I love your message. Your
A
dog's a
little
little scary."
scary.
And so come today, I have myself probably the most talented illustrator, Olga Levinsky. What
I mean, these are gorgeous.
absolute
These are gorgeous.
beautiful person she is, and her illustrations
Look at
are
this.
equally beautiful.
This is so nice. You guys have to pick up the book. Where can people pick up the book while we're on this? Let's,
Well,
let them know.
We are in Barnes and Noble. You can find us
okay.
there. The Lake Grove Barnes and Noble actually carries the books, but I think that
Grove,
because it's local, that's why they carry it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's online. You buy it online. I do have a website. It's teamdog.com, and dog is spelled D-A-W-G. So teamdog.com, where I have a store, and you can go into that store and you can purchase the books. You'll find them on the store, along with other things that we are now creating. I'm creating stickers and different things with the respect message. Just trying to bring back respect, especially on we're big in sport. I'm big in sports. I feel that most
Hall of
kids
Famer.
learn everything they need to learn. They can learn playing sports for sure. How to get along with each other, how to be a better teammate, and that will definitely take you far in life. I
absolutely.
feel Verdel was talking about the recognition that I received. I feel these recognitions because of all the friendships I've made, and I've made the friendships. And I tell when I write in the books, my signature is always. If you want to have good friends, you first have to be a good
one.
friend. And that's
right.
really, and I
That's
try
right.
to do that. I just try to do that. I'm not. It happens when someone doesn't like you, you don't like them, because it does happen.
It does happen.
But I can respectfully walk away from that,
Right.
and not make a big deal of it.
I wanted to ask you, go back just a little bit in reference to sports, because we were talking a little bit off camera about being part of a team and how important that is. What can you share with parents on how to get their students to participate maybe in a team, at least a team, or in an activity that involves a team kind of atmosphere? Because some students are reluctant. So what would you say to parents to try to get their students involved?
I did it with my daughter and my son. I pretty much opened the door to anything they want to try, right? Because whatever they're they don't have to be talented. They want to just try it, So our focus on as adults, I find, is mostly like, all right, let's hope they can play a sport, or
get a scholarship,
music, get a scholarship, and go to college.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get that. It is a pathway to getting to college. But I think you have to let them do what they like to do.
Right.
And then support them in what they like to do, as long as it's healthy, as long as it's positive. And when it comes to sports, it could be anything. Like most kids, if you roll a ball out there and they kick it around, it's soccer. Let's go, but you can play soccer.
Right.
Like we play baseball, and I love baseball, but it is a tough sport.
Yeah.
We take it for granted as adults, right? Hitting a baseball.
It's not easy.
We've done it our whole life, so we
right.
could do it. But then you have an 8-year-old.
That's right.
And he or she cannot hit the ball, and you're wondering what's
going
wrong
on?
with you. Meanwhile, they're like, hey, I'm 8 years old. I don't even know what I'm doing.
It's so true. Our daughter tried softball in 7th grade, or 7th or 8th grade, and my dad, being a big softball guy, he was excited. He went, took her out to practice and all that. She did not like it. She was in lacrosse.
That happens a lot.
Yeah,
lacrosse is a huge sport.
I loved it. She did not like it. She was in soccer. She didn't like it.
What does she like?
Volleyball.
Oh,
yeah. Volleyball was
volleyball.
was her sport, and we also made her play track.
Oh, very good.
So that was.
But you introduced
that's
her
right.
to all
these
things,
had
and
to.
she found something that she liked.
Our son is the same way. He's the older one, and he's not really a sports guy. But he was in T-ball.
Did I meet him? The camera?
Yeah, he's a camera guy.
He's a video guy.
That's right.
A producer, I should say.
That's right. So it was the same kind of thing. We put him in T-ball. T-ball is really
T-ball
rough.
is tough. I coach T-ball. And
T-ball is tough.
Well, you got to have fun with it, but you got to let the kids have. They just tackle each other. That's it. They just pile on the ball, and it doesn't look anything like a baseball game.
No, it's so bad. He was in football. He played flag, and he was okay. Then the next year he did tackle, and the end of the season he's like, you know what, football isn't
It's
for
not that
me.
much fun.
He stuck with Taekwondo, and he got his black belt.
Good.
Yeah,
I have martial arts background.
And that's the other thing too. I think with our kids, you have to know what they're interested in. He wasn't a sports kid, but he liked to be in a situation where he could excel, I guess, at his own pace, and take accountability for what he does in an individual sport like Taekwondo.
That's a learning.
Yeah,
I call it, that's a learning process. It's life lesson is in anything.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be a sport. You could be you said earlier we were talking about
Debate.
the debate team, right? That's
Right,
a team, right? You work together as
That's
a team to try and have a common goal or try and be successful.
Right.
So one thing that most kids find out as they get older is, and if the parents are on top of them with it, you might have hit. I'll take baseball because I love baseball.
Right.
You might have hit the game-winning hit.
Yeah.
But those other players on that team got you to that position to do that. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
And you're not better than anybody else.
Right.
You just had a great day.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And I mean, it's something you have to reinforce. I think you have to reinforce with your athlete. You know?
You really do, because then they get, they can get a little, they could be a hot dog on the team. What age group do you talk to? It's elementary, but as young as what
You know
level?
what's funny? I've actually since started doing preschools, which is totally
really?
crazy. Because they're so young and they don't really have life experience. But I mean, because I have children's books, so I could share a little bit about heroes with them and who's their hero.
Okay.
And I read the book, and I love it because I love coming in and talking to the students, the
Yeah.
kids. It doesn't matter. But I would say, you know how everyone has like a wheelhouse, like our wheelhouse, where I feel the students get the most out of what we're trying to inspire.
Okay.
Is third and fourth grade.
Third and fourth grade.
And,
Okay.
and I did do a fifth grade. A principal grabbed me a couple of years ago and said, they're going to be going into the middle school.
Right.
They're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So because right now they're on top of the food chain and they're going to be on the bottom.
That's right.
Would you come in and just share some words with them? And I did. I went in and I could do my program, and what I talk about can be tailored to anybody.
Okay.
I've been invited to talk to the PTA, to parents at the PTA. Of course,
Oh, is
that's
that right?
a little bit
Okay,
different.
a little different. Yeah,
than
okay,
talking to the
okay.
kids. But I can say that the parents, there's quite a few parents that might want to read a little bit on
Yeah.
respect. Right?
Agreed.
It's a children's book, but the message is good for everybody.
Good for everybody, exactly. So when you go into schools or you go into organizations, when people would like to have you come in, you prescribe a program for them, or like how does that work?
We ask them how they want to move forward. One thing we do every time, I do not like to do full assemblies of the entire school.
Okay.
And the reason for that is kindergarten, first, even second grade is going to be much different than your third, fourth, and fifth graders.
Right.
They're not exactly there yet. But not only that, if you have the younger kids with the older kids, they're a little shy.
Yeah.
They're a little timid,
Right,
and they're not going to
intimidated
talk
maybe,
as much.
yeah.
So what we do is what I call grade level assemblies. Now you could put fourth and fifth together, or third and fourth together,
Okay.
or even second and third. You can do that, and we do
Right.
that. We do that a lot,
Okay.
in the interest of, because they only have a certain budget.
Right. Okay.
But I never want to see where the younger kids are just there to watch because they don't want to participate. Participation is everything.
That's what you need,
with this
right.
presentation.
Okay, yeah.
To get them to inspire them to come out of their shell. We do a role play at the end. I love our role play because we usually are in a cafeteria,
Right.
or on the gym floor. But I tell the kids how in the very beginning I tell the students how I like to play pretend and make believe. So at the end of it, we call it the hero test. We're going to give you the hero test, and so let's make believe we're in the cafeteria. And a lot of times we're there, so it's not very hard.
Right.
And they're all sitting. So we take a student, and we take that student and say, here is a new student today. And that student sits far away from everybody and sits by themselves.
Okay. Okay.
And then we go talk about first day of school. How do you think he's feeling?
Right.
What do you think? Anybody think? What could you do? And then we take it that nothing happens all the way to Friday.
Right. Okay.
So by Friday, we're saying nobody took action, and they get it.
They get it. Yeah.
So we go, let's go back
That's
to Monday
important, yeah.
and show us, instead of telling them, they all raise their hand to tell you we should go over and talk to them.
Right.
I like the actions to be real. So we ask them on the count of three to go up and show me in your actions. Because we talk about being an everyday hero. And you're not a hero if you don't take action. So taking action could be as simple as standing up,
Right.
walking over to somebody who's by themselves and saying, hey, come sit with us. Or
Right.
what's your name? And making them feel comfortable enough to at least make some friends.
Right. And welcome.
And you never know who your next friend is going to be and how they're going to affect you in your life.
That's right.
And
Look
my
at-
partner, Coach
that's right.
Ed, is a perfect example of that.
Right. Exactly.
What a great man. I would have never met him if he didn't come over and say
right.
hello to me.
Isn't that something? Well, out of your, because you've been doing this for a while. You've been going into talk
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years, you've been talking to students and going into schools. And what is the best part of it for you? And what can you? Talking to kids alone is awesome.
They're truthful. They're going to
Yeah,
tell you what
right,
they
right,
really
right.
think.
Yeah,
They're not going to
they're
hide
great.
anything.
They're
So
great.
I've gotten some cute
Right.
comments, some real comments that I'm like, that will take me back a little bit,
Like, what is your most memorable, experience with, doing this for as long as you have?
I think there's quite a few great memories, but one that just melts my heart is when we do the sometimes I'm the student who's new in school, and my partner Ed will
Oh,
talk
okay.
about it.
Right.
And I like doing that better, but I also like to include the
Okay.
students. So if they're very active, I will
Then
grab
you
a
can
student.
do it, right.
But if not, because I go sit there, and then he's like, "How do you think Bobby's feeling? You know, he's new here." And by the time they come over to talk to me, I get to say my most favorite thing, and that is, you can make a difference in somebody's life. You have a superpower,
Right.
and you can make a difference in somebody's life just by being a nice person.
Yeah, I like
Just
that.
by coming over and saying hello. How hard was that?
Right.
It's not that hard. You know, and then the hugs. I mean, I get hugs. I'm invited to lunch almost everywhere I go, and I mean, it's genuine.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
can Bobby Dog stay for lunch?
Oh, that's nice.
and you know, the principals always make that offer. You want to
Right.
stay?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome. It
And
really
it's
is.
a fun time, and
yeah.
you know what? Doing it for as long as I did, my whole thought process was this little dog character who's a middle school character, Trevor.
Right.
And he's the main character in the world of Team Dog. But actually, because of what I do, and in Coach Ed, because we're like real and we have our characters behind us,
Right.
we've become the Team Dog
The
characters.
team, right, yeah, exactly.
Like, wait, that's not what we planned on. But
that's what happened.
That's how it happened. So,
Wow.
and I think the kids, I've noticed, I believe the kids love saying the word Bobby Dog.
Yeah, they probably
Like, if
do.
they yell it down the hall when I'm leaving, you know, if they're out in the playground, when I'm leaving, it's hysterical. Like, my partner Ed always says, it's like you're a rock star.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's really
Like,
funny.
to them I am. I
Yeah,
love
right.
it. I'll take that.
You'll take that,
I'll
right.
take that. It's awesome. And they're rock stars, you know. That's the whole idea is I'm an outside guy coming in. I'm not the educator that's in the room every day.
Right, yeah.
And most
Oh,
educators
yeah.
tell me, look, my whole classroom is all about respect. That's what I believe in. So I love having you in here because
Yeah.
now it's you talking
Right,
about
yeah.
being respectful.
It's not me saying it over and over again. Exactly.
You know, and we leave writing curriculum for them. Call it curriculum. But it's
Okay.
really writing pages.
Okay.
So that throughout the school year, because
Oh,
you want to
nice.
keep this
Keep
message
it going.
about heroes. So
That's
they get
right.
a poster, and it's don't be a bully, be a Team Dog everyday hero, which is what we talk about. Then we have writing pages, which is, you know, who are my heroes?
Okay, okay.
You can write down who your heroes
I
are.
like that.
You could color a picture of your hero. For the younger kids, we have the word respect in the dots so they can trace
trace it, right,
and then
okay.
write it. You know, so
Keep it going.
element, and
Yeah.
they just bring it all the way up to, you know, the 5th grade where they have regular writing pages where they
Okay.
can write, what does respect mean to me? We used to do a whole thing where they got this before we showed up.
Okay.
But because the assemblies have become so large,
Right.
we can't have every
Too
student
many.
stand up and tell us what they wrote.
Right, it's too many.
But
Okay.
in a classroom format, it is awesome to watch them stand up and say, I'm respectful of, or why I'm respectful,
Okay.
and, you know, who's my heroes? My heroes are.
Right. So it depends really on what your situation is or how many kids or what have you. So in addition to, you know, you have the book, you go in, you speak to students. What else does Team Dog do? I know you have a couple of the sportsmanship award that you give students.
Yes, well, my Team Dog website, I'm very proud of the Team Dog website. It's called a media site.
Okay.
What we do is we share stories of everyday heroes in the community.
Right.
We focus on our kids, you know,
Right.
but
So
I have a
the
soft spot
students.
for the, you know, first responders and the police officers and the EMTs that every day do what they do because they're, you know, doctors, nurses, they're amazing. But we focus on the kids. But I'll do any story that is a good story. Anything that's
Okay.
positive, we share it. So I get nominations every couple of months. People will nominate, send me
okay.
an email, and say, Bobby Dog, my daughter, my son, you know, and not
Oh,
just
nice.
young, old.
Okay.
They did something like raising money for a charity or went to their school. And this is how I meet all my kids.
Oh, that's
It's
great.
amazing. It's
Huh, I
amazing.
love
So
that.
what I created was an Everyday Hero,
Everyday Hero.
Award.
Okay.
And we're doing that for 10, 15 years. We're a couple times a year. We take somebody and they get a plaque and they get a medal.
Oh, that's nice.
And like when we were at Barnes & Noble, we did a book signing at Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble said, do whatever you like to,
Right.
because I would like to invite. So we invited all the heroes that we did that year.
okay,
And they
okay.
all came. And in front of a crowd, there was probably about 300 people. In a crowd of 300
Wow.
people, they get to go. My story, everyone knows my story on Long Island. They get to get up and tell their story.
Oh,
and it
that's
was
awesome.
Incredible.
Oh, that's great.
And even the Barnes & Noble manager had told me, you know,
love that.
I love,
That's
this is
nice.
the first time that a book signer came in and just threw it out there for everyone else. And I
Right,
really loved
yeah,
what you did.
that's
So
awesome.
I get invited back there. They're super. She's super.
Yeah.
You know, Barnes & Noble is very good to every year they want to invite me to, you know, do a reading, or if there's a school doing something special, I come in and do a reading.
That's awesome.
And it's a good time. But my new award that I'm going to talk about is Team Dog Sportsmanship Award.
Okay.
I created it just a couple of years ago, and it's a high school athlete, male or female. The coaches will ask the teams to nominate who they think is the leader of the team, who possesses a certain criteria. It's not the most skilled player, although you're going to, when somebody's very skilled, you're going to pay attention to that person, right?
Yeah.
But what you have to bring on after that is the kind of person that you are.
Right.
So do you give back to your team? Are you a leader? Are you a good sport about everything? Do you care about other people's? Do you do things in your community, within your neighborhood? Because let's face it, you could be the most skilled person in any game or anything in life, right?
Anything, right.
Eventually, as we get older, those skills will fade. But what I hope will never fade is your character, being a good person.
Exactly.
And that's really the whole idea behind it. And I'm happy to say that since I've done this, I've had quite a few schools, all in Suffolk County.
In Suffolk County,
All in Suffolk County schools.
Okay.
I guess because I'm in Suffolk
You're
County,
in Suffolk,
so they get to know me.
Right.
But now with social media, we're getting it out there.
Okay.
And
All right,
good. I'm getting nominations from across the country.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty interesting, and I'm also involved with the St. James Smithtown Little League, where I coach, and I grew up in Kings Park, which is a town of Smithtown, so it's my hometown.
Right.
And now we're giving out a sponsorship award in that league, and I'm ecstatic.
Right.
they're great. Like you find these volunteers, they just work really hard for your kids.
Yeah, I know. It is. I give.
I love that because we find
credit.
we find many organizations who maybe not so much give to the kids.
Right.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But when you find an organization that really is focused on giving the kids the best, whatever, it doesn't have to be sports, whatever that is. I was involved with the Cub Scouts and the Girl Scouts.
Okay.
They've had me come and different what do you call the groups?
Troops.
The different troops. That's my senior moment. The different troops, they would get them together, and I would come in and do a team goal presentation, and they would, and the cost was purchase books.
Okay. Oh, all right. There you go. So, are there anything else coming up with Team Dog? Any new books or any new? We were talking about you were talking about an animated cartoon. Are we going to see an animated cartoon?
I would like to do a public service announcement using Bobby Dog and Coach Ed or any of the characters really, but basically the announcement for kids to really communicate if they have a problem. We all say if you see something, say something.
Right.
Okay, let's get our kids to realize what at the end of the day, I want any kid, but especially mine, but all our kids.
Right.
If we can't help them if we don't know that they have a problem.
That's
so
right.
they have to open up
Be
and
able
tell
to
us.
let people know.
But it's like you have to let them know. You can come to me about anything. Anything. And I love when I hear the parents say, it doesn't matter. Right or wrong,
That's
you're
right.
in trouble or not, come to me. We'll fix
right.
it. We'll figure it out.
That's our mantra as well.
If your little one, and even not so little, but your little one knows, I can go to my mom or dad, or any trusted adult if we're talking about this, the whole bullying thing. Because I'm a big fan of the educators. I have met so many teachers, so many principals, assistant principals, even your lunch people who actually just really care for the kids, keep an eye on the kids, and really want nothing but the best for our kids.
Yeah.
And you want these kids to know, hey, you can go to them. They will help you.
They will help you. That's right.
They will help you. So that's really what I want at the end of the day. And I have something that's not out there yet that we could talk about. I do have stickers, these respect stickers in every sport, and fire and police.
Okay.
And they're little window decals, and it's really just has the word respect on it.
Okay.
And
Was that on the back of your?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the baseball one, and that one's this big, so you're not going to miss that. But the whole idea is to get everyone thinking about respect. And if you bring it to a ball field or any kind of sport, anywhere you go, I say on and off the playing field, just start thinking about being respectful. Just think about it. Just think of it. Know that it's important.
It is important.
It's important as well as everything else.
Solves a lot of issues, doesn't it?
It can. I think if we build our foundation, your character foundation on respect, I think it can only go up from there and do good things.
Exactly. So how can people get in touch with you? I'm not sure. Can we show the contact information there? I'm not sure if Bobby's in there. But how can people get in contact with you?
You can. I got it. My email is bobby@teamdog.com.
There we go.
And dog is spelled DAWG, so it's bobby@teamdog.com. I also have a Facebook page, which is just Team Space Dog, and dog is DAWG. You'll find us on Facebook. I also have Bobby Space Team Dog, and both of those, because the Bobby Team Dog, people can friend me. And the other Team Dog, it's an organization, so they don't really,
they can like it.
They like it, yeah.
Right.
So friending me enables us to communicate through Facebook. And I do pick up quite a lot of inquiries for schools on my Facebook page.
On your Facebook page, right.
So social media, I like to say we're the good in social media, you know, because there's so much craziness that's, you know, involved in that now.
Right, right. So people can, you know, reach Bobby Dog that way. And I just want to thank you for being on Conversations with Verdel Jones.
I love being here.
I am so happy we got you in the studio.
Thanks for having the patience. Life has just taken me in a lot of directions.
I know.
So I finally got here.
I'm so happy that you did.
I'd like to do it again. We could get together again on the next time you're looking for someone to come in.
Absolutely. I appreciate
and
that.
hopefully we'll be further along. We can introduce some new things,
like,
such as cartoon characters.
Okay, I like that.
Working on it.
So I want to thank everybody for watching Conversations with Verdel Jones, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you, Verdel.
Thank you.